5 things I learned watching Orbital at Brixton Academy in London in April 2025.
Brought to you by a C55ID.
So yeah, I was in London, had tickets to see Orbital, a very specific Orbital show though. They were just playing the first 2 albums, the Green album and the Brown album, and I had no idea what to expect. Then, in actual fact, they played them back to back, just the albums, the same order, basically the same tunes, like not a ton of embellishment, just those tracks. And quite frankly, those are pretty great albums, so this was a good thing to do. My relationship with Orbital goes back a long way. I saw them at Glastonbury in 1995 as a 15-year-old, and that was a genuinely life-changing experience. And, you know, this was an exciting thing for me to be going to, basically, at the age of, well, too old now. But I learned 5 things from it, which is convenient because that's a good way to package up a video on YouTube, isn't it? So here they are. Brixton Academy is a great venue. It really is. It's unbelievable. I realized when I walked in, I haven't been there since, I think, 2001 or 2002. The last time I went there was to see the Streets, and Newham Generals were supporting them. That was pretty awesome, but we were sitting upstairs, as I remember, for that gig, and downstairs is where you want to be. I went to so many shows there in the 90s, in my teenage years, my formative years, and it is just incredible. The sense of atmosphere, and it is exactly the same, by the way. Like the look of it, the feel of it. The only difference is there's no cigarette smoke now, which I have to say does detract quite substantially from it. But just what an incredible venue, and just, yeah, it was just, walked in and was just immediately transported back to, I guess, 1995 or something. Number 2, the dickheads were the ones doing the filming. So basically everyone there was 55 years old, apart from me. So, I mean, in those days, I was a kid. I was definitely amongst the younger of the crowd in the kind of mid-90s raving era. And I'm still, you know, 10 years younger than everyone else now, because it was just transplanted, exactly the same audience, transplanted 30 years hence. Well, yeah, it is 30 years hence, isn't it? Yeah. So the same people and the same 2% of dickheads were there too. And they were the ones, those 2%, with their phones out, shooting video whilst everyone else is raving. And wow, that says so much, right? The shit that is talked about people who spend their time at gigs and at clubs and at raves shooting phones out. I mean, it has got a bit boring and it is a little bit of a laboured point now. But honestly, this was just brought home to me by just seeing those people, knowing exactly who they were as soon as I saw them, and seeing them get their phones out and be like, as this incredible show is unfolding. That was an unbelievably eye-opening and illustrative experience, I think, of the kind of people that shoot video at shows. Number 3, the Brown album by Orbital is the best dance album of all time. I've actually got a copy of it here, which has got the wrong cover. It's actually not the wrong cover. It's just the booklet's the wrong way around. So that's the back of it. It is an unbelievable piece of work. It genuinely is. Like, the first album is good. The Green album, it's got Chime on it and all that. But the Brown album has just got this unbelievable sense of flow. Like, it's almost a DJ set, but almost not. It is an absolutely incredible collection of tracks, but just put together in a way which is just absolutely masterful. And listening to it performed in its entirety, like, I mean, it genuinely was emotional listening to it. I mean, actually, there were 2 points in particular I became emotional during this show. Actually, one of them was during the first album. So it was when Belfast came in. That was, I mean, I was dabbing my eyes. I've got no embarrassment. I'm not embarrassed to say at all. And then when Lush 3.1 came in off the Brown album, which is the start of the extended 25-minute gapless period on the record. I think it's 25 minutes, something like that. Anyway, when that came in, that synth riff, I mean, just unbelievable. And, you know, the experience was intense to the extent that when Halcyon and On came on, which is the last track on the Brown album, which is arguably, probably after Chime, maybe their most famous tune, and it is just an ecstasy-a-thon. Like, I was done by then. I didn't have any more to give. I was just completely spent. But that album, for me, the only record that comes close to it as a pure dance album, I'm not talking about electronic, I'm not talking about the songs, whatever, as a pure dance record, the only album that comes near is the first Prodigy album. And that is just, in my opinion, just incredible too. But the Brown album by Orbital, if you've got a collectible copy of it, even better. Socio-economic diversity of the crowd. So the crowd to see Orbital at Brixton Academy was pretty wide. I mean, there's no getting around it. It was pretty pretty pale and quite male as well. I'm not going to go as far as to say stale, but those two adjectives were definitely in effect. But what was noticeable, there was a wide range of backgrounds there, right? There were definitely rich people, 100%, some aristocrats there, some old style double-barreled surnames, but there was a lot of working class people there too. And there was you really got the sense that there was a wide range of outlooks on life, despite, everyone being white. I mean, as I say, that sounds terrible, but it's true. It's absolutely true. And I think that's something which has been lost, or at least is not there to the same extent at techno parties today. I think what's happened in the dance scene is that there has been a siloing off in a socioeconomic way between genres. So particularly in the UK anyway, tech house is very much the kind of working class thing. And that's, I think, what people generally speaking go to. And techno, and there's a kind of certain kind of techno, isn't it, I suppose, which has become very middle class, very monocultural. And I think something is lost when you don't have that breadth of economic backgrounds at a party. I genuinely do. I think it's as important. Like, I'm not saying that we need, to have crowds like there was at that Orbital show, but that aspect of it, I think, is something which needs to come back. Number 5, ecstasy is a hell of a drug. I have been bullish on the efficacy of ecstasy in just everyday life. I think everyone should take ecstasy. I genuinely do. I think it's something which should be, not all the time. I just mean like once or twice just to experience it. I'm not suggesting that it should replace alcohol as the social drug of choice. Not that that's necessarily an endorsement of alcohol, but honestly, you learn so much from that, and it has done so much, I think, in that cohort of people to bring people together, right? I genuinely think that's true. And, the current younger generation, this is a broad stroke statement, but the appetite for hedonism has been diminished to a significant extent, and the appetite for taking ecstasy in parties, I think, has gone down too. And I think, honestly, it's been bad for the scene, but it's also bad for people, because the experience of dancing on ecstasy next to a ton of other people of different backgrounds is fundamentally good for the soul, and I think it should happen more. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, guys. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next week on the next episode of the main podcast.